Good morning, everybody, and thank you again, Grant, Philippe, and the leadership for inviting me. Just a word of introduction. My name is Sergio. I'm a managing director at BCG, and I lead the practice of medical aesthetics that we founded 10 years ago, actually 10 years ago now, and we're counting on 50 professionals around the world that are fully dedicated to the business of medical aesthetics. What we are discussing today is what's happening to the market, what are the drivers of growth, and where innovation stands across different directions and different lenses, not only in terms of technology, but in terms of approach to the physicians and go-to-market models and what customer wants. Just a word, a methodological word about the data and the things that we are sharing. Of course, in 10 minutes, we are using a reduction of complexity. So whatever you see here is really a summary of a more extensive research that involved thousands of consumers and hundreds of physicians in the next quarter. So apologies if the message might come a little bit high, but that's how we wanted to manage it today. So you are taking out three things out this meeting, hopefully. First, what's happening to the market? What's the outlook for 2023 and beyond? And this is based on the most recent survey that we finished a month ago about the size of the end that I mentioned before. Second, what are the innovation levers that we see in the market? And third, what is the framework to look at the innovation and the opportunities in the market that we propose? Let's go with the first analysis about the segments. The market is not only one thing. There are several different layers of business segments that we need to include. And overall, what we are seeing is that the market, is slowing down in 2013, a bit compared to 21 and 2022. But if you the average for the exceptional years that we have seen before, it's on a trend path of inertial growth if you project from 2019. And honestly, what's happening is that whoever has been involved, got into the whirlpool of aesthetics in the past 2 years, is going to be sticky. 70% of the consumers that have started the medical aesthetic procedures due to the Zoom boom and all the other features that we've seen in the past 2 years will actually stay they will appreciate continuing their routine in medical aesthetics. Of the 2,000 customers that we interviewed most recently, only 8% decided or squarely said that they're going to reduce their spend in medical aesthetic procedures, the ones that already started one. And of the 250 HCPs, providers that we have surveyed, only 1% believes that there's going to be a meaningful reduction in volume for these 2013 years. So long story short, the market, is going to grow a little bit slower in 2013 compared to the previous 2 years. But overall, if you average the growth for the next 5 years, we see that this is still a very healthy industry with a 10% growth, more or less, with for manufacturers, 50 to 80% gross margin, which is very, very healthy. And there are not many businesses where you can invest and get a better return. In terms of, this is a complicated business because it's not one thing, medical aesthetics. The reduction of complexity on the previous page of the different segments doesn't make justice for all of the opportunities that are in the market, but it's a good view. But also in terms of channels, who is or where we are selling our products, there are 3+1 channels that we identify here. Surgeons, dermatologists, med spas. Dr. Diane already shared at length what the providers want and what they need. There is also the e-commerce, the online that is picking up, especially in the terms of the skincare. And again, another reduction of complexity. I think in another setting we discussed a little bit more at length, med spas, no one fits all. There are at least 5 other segments and tiers that we identify in the med spas, and also dermatology and plastic surgeons. We have also there, you need to be careful to define as one dermatologist as an epitome for all of them. There are different ways that you can segment. Anyway, the market is still growing in terms of point of sales, point of injection, point of care, point of service, and this is driven the growth in the next years. I would like to discuss with you quickly what are the innovation levers that providers, consumers, and the product want or need in the market. Let's start with the providers. First, there are a few things that the providers actually need to have. You go into the office or you propose as a manufacturer something, you need to have table stakes. The product should be at par with the current standard of treatment, the standard beauty, et cetera, et cetera. This is just to open the door of the conversation, honestly. It doesn't really there is the risk of a little bit of commoditization. That's what the provider says. Yes, we want to have a product that works, that has efficacious profile, blah, blah, blah. And this is the way to start the conversation. The problem is, or the next question will be, this is really table stake. What's next? And we will see in a couple of charts later that what's next is what innovate manufacturers should give to the providers and to the industry, the next wave of innovation. The other 2 points that providers are interested in squarely, it's a little bit price. Price is not a nice word, I would say value, etc. But when you ask, they think about price, so it needs to be worth, as Dr. Dean mentioned before. And third, which is the most important part now, I think, is how are you gonna get, this market is really underpenetrated, how are you gonna get more consumers into our office? How do we treat, how do you expand the word of our, this is what they want to see from a manufacturer or to an investor. How do you help me getting more people to appreciate the beauty of the business? And nice word joke. In terms of consumer, what consumer wants? I think you have seen the chart on the left. I think that after 10,000 plus surveys, I'm very comfortable saying that this flow works in terms of penetration and where we are in terms of adoption of the medical aesthetics procedures. But what is important and what is new, I would say for you, or updated, not new, on the right is what are the barriers of adoption of consumers? We still have a plethora, an humongous number of consumers that would really love or would benefit for the medical aesthetics, beauty services, etc. What is their concern? The survey, most recent survey on the right shows that there is a concern about inflationary, recession, disposable income is one of the key topics. But the other things that they want to know, they want to hear is what's happening. How do you characterize the product that I'm gonna buy? So this concept of awareness is still very much lingering there, and we have not still cracked it as an industry. And we need to work there more and more. Another point that is not secondary in terms of how to increase the awareness, how to increase the penetration, how to increase also the excitement of not only the providers, the doctors, but the nurses, the estheticians, the procurement guys. What are the new technologies coming into the market? And the good news is that there is a wave that is coming. Companies are both trying to, I would say, build on the incremental innovation that is basing off of the current products, what can be done more, but also what are the breakthrough technologies that actually can solve for the issues, for the functional needs, emotional needs that the consumer wants. Here we have a list that is not exhaustive. I'm happy to share also more in detail potentially what are the companies, innovative companies and things that are happening. These are the top areas that providers would recognize as innovative and across all the different segments of medical aesthetics. So it's a good chunk of innovation that is coming in the next years that will fuel additional growth. The point that I would like to make is that entering the space, if you're an investor in the space, is not cheap. You're not coming into the medical aesthetics or the beauty or any business segments trying to really hit on the breadcrumbs. If you want to be successful, you need to think about how to engage with my go-to-market model, with my services, better the providers which are the tens of people that are around the practice that Dr. Dean showed before very nicely, the consumers, and what are the different consumers. There are several segments of consumers that you need to enroll in. And it's not a monopoly. It's not a deal done once you enter the market. It's not a 15 years monopoly that you get when you launch a pharmaceutical product. Luckily, it's a good pharmaceutical product and you are there for 15 years. Here you need to fight. This is a luxury business, consumer business that needs continuous improvement in the way that you serve your customers. And you need to be obsessed about that. So the successful companies, the companies that we have anonymized them on the graphic that have been growing nicely and have been creating value for the past years are the ones that keep investing a huge amount of their top line in commercial spend, because that's how you build the trust with the doctors, with the providers, and with the consumers. And I would like to end, I hope in time, with 4 different levers that you need to keep in mind. In order to grow, you need to get on top of the innovation frontier. You need to keep investing, not sitting on laurels. It's good to have also incremental innovation because In energy-based devices, it's always great to listen to the providers and to consumers and improve the features of your product. You need to obtain the consumer trust, and that requires time, but it's very good that you can do now with cost-effective ways with social media and so on. And you need to keep having a strong commercial engine. Otherwise, the car is not taking you any longer. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.